Earlier today, on the 21st of February 2025, the Manhattan courtroom buzzed with an unusual energy with Luigi Mangione, the man accused of assassinating United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, making a brief 20-minute appearance in court. That's all the time he spent actually in court with his lawyers fighting for him. But the gravity of the situation, the charges there, was not what drew the big attention. Inside the courtroom there was a battle, but it was actually the crowds outside, which featured many supporters, many protesters, and many young women who traveled from as far away as Oregon in some interviews, lining up to get an early glimpse at 3 a.m. to get an early glimpse of Mangione, who didn't actually go to court until late in the afternoon. Now, about 12 of the people in the bystander area, just general people, got into the courtroom, and there was no disruption there. But that's where the real sort of fight got to get to. Now, so the dedication to get there was one thing. But inside the courtroom where the real battle was happening, the defense attorney for Mr. Mangione, Karen Friedman Anifilio, I'll always butcher that name, unfortunately, she was passionate about her client, saying that he could not get a fair trial where he was. The city officials especially doing a big dirty by going on HBO, getting all hair and makeup, although Adams has no hair, to talk about the case on a documentary for all to see, releasing information and evidence that the defense had not received yet to go apart with their own actual courtroom proceedings. But Adams and folks are out there telling the world about it for Netflix views, or HBO views, I should say. Prosecution, they were like, you know, we got this body cam footage, we got some surveillance video, we got autopsy. Pretty sure he did it. Let's go to court. They were done. The defense, not quite so done, but it was all done in about 20 minutes of actual in time with the judge going forward on the day. But back outside, or outside the whole time, the whole day essentially, it was a scene. That's one way to describe it. Surreal is another way to describe it. Plain out wacko is another way as well. Many supporters were there. They had digital billboards up supporting Mangione. They wore t-shirts with his face on it. They had a projection of a mural on a building behind them, a big, large him up there looking like a saint, Saint Mangione, and a black box truck which had his images on them, his portraits on them, drove around the whole time to show his face. Remember, Mangione is an accused murderer, and he's got such a following because the person he killed happened to run an insurance company and happened to be sort of the bane of everybody's existence. People hate insurance companies. They hate him specifically because his company did a lot of things for the process of making money that were not great to people. And his Thompson's actual, what he got for it was being shot in the street. Now for Mangione, he's getting the hero's sort of calling that he doesn't deserve. Because remember, he's accused, unless they find a way that he didn't do it, that we have pictures of a guy that looks like him walking down the street, shooting a guy in the head and walking off. That sounds like, as the prosecution says, we got this thing's covered, let's just go to trial. But many supporters actually describe the man as a bright light in dark times. Others express hope inspired by his actions. Remember, he's accused of murder. Not self-defense, not defending his castle, not out there while random bullets were being shot up and so he pulled out his concealed carry and just defended himself. He set up, planned an assassination attempt and then tried to get away and almost got away with it too. This raises very uncomfortable questions about how we in society have fascinations for criminal figures. And yes, some of it is we into true crime and how people did stuff. But the lines are also blurred between advocacy, yeah, that word, advocacy, essentially standing up for what you believe in, and idolization, finding some sort of hope and praise in someone who doesn't deserve it. The support for this man and the cause, if you will, down with insurance companies and maybe down with insurance company CEOs, is getting support for all corners of the globe. His defense fund has amassed over $500,000 in donations from everywhere. This is a testament to the extensive support that he's actually receiving. Also, promotional activities, including meme coins that are aimed at addressing medical bills. further complicate the narrative of what's happening. Many of the people there were protesters. They were all basically protesters, protesting the system or whatever. But many people were actual real protesters with a theme, with something going on. They wanted to turn the focus from Mangione's celebrity, which made some people come out and see them, which is the good thing about that, but turn it away from the murder, the crime, and Mangione being the hot guy who did it, to prison reform and equitable health care. The sort of ideas that were surrounding the initial thought. Equitable health care was why Mangione was in the situation he was, and how they're treating him in his court trial, prison reform, going forward. The spectacle, as it was, is going to continue. It actually underscores another trend that's disturbing. The glamorization of alleged criminals and potential erosion of justice system's integrity. We talked a lot about Gypsy Rose Blanchard in her case, where she was more or less the victim, but got wrapped up in things, and people got all wrapped up in her celebrity. And then she got out, and it turned into just a continuation of a reality show to make her life interesting. So she had something to do. There's so many people, especially in the world of crypto, especially in the world of Silicon Valley, people who've done very bad things to keep their company afloat, and people fall in love with them for some reason. This is a case where a man is accused of murder. There's the basic part of the case. The motives behind the murder and the actions that happen will be what we should focus on this trial. It should be what we should focus on this trial. The larger story about insurance reform and now prison reform, and just, hot guys on the internet that everybody wants to marry now because he killed the CEO. It's gruesome. It's terrible. It's awful. And we should be ashamed of ourselves. But I don't think we are. So, let me know what you think about this. Every time we do a Mangione thing, it turns into a lot of folks, a lot of responses that are, he's a hero. He's standing up for the common man. He's fighting the power, things like that. And there are ways I can see that, and you can persuade me with your argument. But he's also a killer, allegedly. And the means that he used to get his fame and stardom and, of course, get his message across is the wrong way. But your comments, let me know what you think about this. This is not a monologue. It seemed like a monologue. This is not a monologue. Conversation Project is a conversation. You tell us what stories to talk about. You tell us what's interesting. And since this one gathered a lot of engagement in the early days, we haven't gotten to the show for Monday yet where we're going to have to present this. So many things popped up as people were waiting all day for this to happen. And so it happened. It was only 20 minutes. Pretty tiny piece of any action going on. But it's going to stir up a hornet's nest that's going to sweep across this nation for years to come. So let me have it. Comments away.